What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having a really good day. Grab your coffee, kick back, relax. Let's talk about some more raid bosses here. We're going to do another raid boss review from Sepulcher, the first ones. And we did Prototype Pantheon, which is a particularly good fight for Enhancement Shaman. It's actually very good for us. So, yeah, let me get my notes up here. Grab your coffee and put this over here. And we're going to jump right into it. So, we have a VOD that we're going to review in a second. Let me just talk about my build first of all. We'll kind of run through that really quickly. So, I ran Primal Lava Actuators for this fight. So, if you don't know, this fight is a cleave fight, essentially. So, it has a whole bunch of... it has 4 different enemies, 4 different bosses. There's a Necrolord one, there's a Kyrian one, there's a Night Fae one, and there's a Venthyr one. They all correspond to the Covenants. This is pretty cool. This was like basically like the creation of the Covenants happened here, and these are all the prototypes before they actually came out with, you know, the real things. So super cool. It's a cool idea, and I love how this kind of works out. So what ends up happening in this fight is that you fight 2 of them at the same time. You fight the prototype of War and then Duty together, and then you fight the prototype of Renewal and Absolution. So you go, it's Necrolord and Kyrian together, and then Night Fae and Venthyr together. So you fight the first 2 together, you get them to 50% health, then the next 2 hop out, you get them to 50% health, and then all 4 of them come out at the same time. And you fight all 4 of them at the same time. So, very good fight for us. Very fun fight. And particularly, it's a good fight for Primal Lava Actuators. Because we can spread Flame Shocks around so easily, you're double dipping and then eventually quadruple dipping on the Flame Shocks, buffing up your Lava Lash and making your Lava Lashes hit really hard. So, this is a fantastic fight for PLA. It's a really good fight to take this legendary into. I think it's better than Witch Doctor Wolfbones, and this is what I ran in this fight. Now, what setup did I run? The talents that I ran, I ended up actually starting with Elemental Blast, and then I switched over to Lashing Flames, because I think it's actually a lot better. So, because you have the ability to spread those Flame Shocks, and then you'll get a Hot Hand proc, or your PLA will just reduce the cooldown of Lava Lash really quickly, and then you can just tab target through and tag all of the bosses, and then your Flame Shocks will do double damage. It's very strong, very potent. And it works really well on this fight. Of course, you're going to take Hot Hand because we're running a fire-based build. And then you're going to take Ele Assault instead of Fire Nova. There's a case to be made here for Fire Nova on this fight, simply because there's more than one target, right? There's 2 targets, and then there's 2 targets again, and then there's 4 targets. But I think the value of Fire Nova is not that great when there's only 2 targets, and that's the majority of this fight. I think as the difficulty ramps up, like once you get into heroic difficulty and certainly mythic, I think Fire Nova actually gets a lot more value because the mobs will be out for a lot longer, and so you'll get more casts of Fire Nova in. But what I ran, just for simplicity's sake, is I ran Elemental Assault just to help generate stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, because the fire build in particular, Primal Lava Actuators, does struggle a little bit on generating stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, as opposed to, you know, Witch Doctor Wolfbones, which is all about generating stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, right? It's very, you have your dogs out all the time. Your dogs help you generate stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, and then your all of your other abilities also contribute. And when you run Witch Doctor Wolfbones, you usually take Ele Assault and like Storm Flurry, and that can chain on itself, so you just have a lot more generation of Maelstrom Weapon stacks in general. The fire build focuses on Lava Lash. Lava Lash doesn't have like a built-in inherent ability to generate stacks of Maelstrom Weapon like Storm Strike does. Storm Strike guarantees with Elemental Assault that you'll get at least 1 stack of Maelstrom Weapon, and then it has a chance to give you 1 as well. Lava Lash does not have the same kind of chance to do that. So, because this build is so focused on Lava Lash, you struggle a little bit with generating stacks of Maelstrom Weapon. So you want to pivot over to Elemental Assault to fix that. And of course, we're going Elemental Spirits to get the buffs on the dogs, the fire dogs, all that kind of stuff. So that's the setup that we ran. And then we are, of course, we are Necrolord, and I did not run this Conduit, although something to be said about that. But of course, you're going to run Magma Fist because you're focused on Lava Lash primarily. Sorry about that. You're pressing Lava Lash all the time. It's getting a bunch of free crit on Lavalash. This ends up being like 30% more crit on Lavalash is amazing because, of course, we're speccing into Mastery pretty heavily. Right? We're speccing... We have 66% Mastery, 36% Haste when we have our Fleshcraft on. So I run Plague Deviser or Marileth. You're going to go triple Potency Conduit. Magma Fist goes up here. And then Tumbling Waves and then Focus Lighting. Those are the 3 you want to run. Yeah, that's the build. PLA, those are the talents. That's what I ended up running. And it does quite a bit of damage. So let's jump into the fight. And let's take a look at what we're looking at here. So jump over to here. So... Again, this is a pretty big arena, and I'm going to talk about some of the other important parts of this fight, like mobility, in a second. But let's just take a look at the very first pull.
I think the Storm Strike thing will just get more value, because we need to generate Maelstrom somehow.
Move my notes over here. Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Yep, okay. Need to look at...
Just move forward a little bit. Oh, a little bit too far.
There's ads here, right? Which one do I start on? Do we just do
there we go.
Tanks
so we've got the Kyrian and Necrolord. You're going to start with them. I'm going to explain their abilities as we go. Okay? So the tanks need to pull them together. And they're going to do that. See the Gloom Bolt over there? That's kickable. So the Necrolord guy is going to cast Gloom Bolt like all the time. You need to kick it. It does a lot of damage to a single target. So we have both our Flame Shocks out, and we're double dipping on Lavalash right now. So it's really good. Now, the ad phase happens right away on the beginning here. So you start with the Necrolord and Kyrian. The Necrolord guy summons a bunch of ads around the room. You're going to see there's one right in front of us here. And there's more around the room that we're not killing. And it's a big mistake. So we're going to kill this ad here. And then I look and I see, oh no, there's another one. And I see, oh no, there's 3 more of them. So see how they're channeling into the middle of the zone? This is what they will do. They'll start with 4 ads, they channel into the middle, and that circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it'll engulf the entire arena if you don't kill the ads right away. So you actually have to stop boss damage and just go kill the ads. And you're going to need to assign people to go do it. Particularly the range, like the melee people are starting up here. So they can help take care of this ad right here and then this ad over here. What you should do is get the ranged people to be like hanging out over here somewhere, and they can pick off this one that's off screen. There's an ad off screen that you can't see, but it's
we can
right.
cheat with our Flame Shocks here. That's why I thought this was so good.
It's behind us. The ad is like way behind us, and you need the ranged people to take care of that one. So you're gonna see here that we messed this up. I want to show you how bad this is. So there's one over here that just got killed by the ranged hunters and stuff, which is really good. That's what they need to do, but we forgot to kill this one over here. I thought we were good to go, but we weren't.
Oh, we're dying. There's a thing. Oh, death touched.
So it engulfs the entire arena. Here's the Kyrian ability. She gets down and pushes you back with this wind, and she also throws like big spears onto the platform
one, right?
and pins people down. So there's the spear. See the white swirlies? That's a spear that would pin people down. We're going to die anyway.
Okay.
Those are those cool spears. So that's the Kyrian. See those spear right there? That's the Kyrian ability. She does like this big wind that pushes you back, and then she throws spears that will pin you to the ground. They do a ton of damage. You can't get hit by the spears. The Necrolord guy summons these ads, and then he does his like Gloom Bolt thing. That's it. So you have to... Really, the most important part of this first phase is to go kill those ads, those Necrolord ads, and dodge the spears. We didn't do that very well. We obviously ended up dying here. So let's go to 3740. Here's the next pull. We do it correctly. This time you're going to see that. So we pulled them again. Again, nothing really happens at the beginning. You just have to kick Gloom Bolt from the Necrolord guy. But the ads will spawn like almost right away, like in like 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. There's the ads.
I'm going to go get this one over here.
I immediately run over here to start on this one. Here's the ranged one over here. This one, see how far away this is? You need your ranged people to go kill this one. And then I can go kill this one. One thing I really want to talk about that's so important for us, for Enhancement Shaman here, is you have two movement abilities. You have Feral Lunge, and you have Spirit Walk, which increases your speed by 60%, right? I use both of them here. They're both on cooldown, which is really bad. You don't want to use both of them because you're going to need them to get back. This is such a big arena. You don't want to waste uptime on the boss.
I totally messed that up. My bad.
I didn't have LA Blast on my bars.
I had to put this on my bar.
So we kill this ad. We do this way better, right? Watch this.
Look how much better we did there. See? Wow, not hard at all. We got this.
They were saying it was gonna be hard. Anyway, that's how easy the ad phase can look, right? See how much easier that looked, versus the first time. So you can see how easy that can be. There's Gloom Bolt again. Keep kicking it.
Oh,
We're just gonna keep watching here. So she goes up and does her wind thing, and then the spears come down. Here comes the swirlies. There's one there. There's one under my feet. And then I make a mistake of trying to go attack her while she's up there. Don't do that. Just beat up the war guy. They share a health pool, okay? So you can just kill the other one. She's up in the air. I couldn't even get to her. So that was a big mistake on my part. But anyway, you should just hit whichever guy is within reach. So here comes ads again. Here we go.
This isn't tough. We just gotta respect the mechanics.
So see these domes right here that start forming? The Kyrian, there's like Kyrian ads like flying around that you can't interact with, but they end up like dying and they create these domes on the ground. Those domes make you take like 0 damage and they make you deal 0 damage. So if you're standing in the dome, you can't do any damage, but you also can't take any damage. Another thing I want you to see, right here, look at these icons. See the claw, the green claw on Sarasam and Amarlothus, these two guys. These are the Necrolord debuffs that get put on everybody. They will just slowly do ticking damage to you. If a healer dispels them, it'll basically kill you. It does like 80,000 damage if it gets dispelled. However, if you're standing in one of these domes, you don't take any damage. So the strategy here is to simply say, if you get one of these debuffs, your healers, you should go to one of these domes and your healers will dispel you in the dome. And then you'll get rid of the debuff. On normal, it doesn't matter as much because the ticking damage is not that hard. But on heroic, it's going to hurt a lot. So we didn't have to really respect this mechanic on normal, but I'm just explaining to you how it works. When you get this little claw icon, you need to coordinate with your healers. You're like, okay, I'm going to the dome. I'm in the dome. Dispel me. Then they'll dispel you, and then you can get out again. Because you don't take any damage when you're in these domes. So right now, these two guys are just taking ticking damage. But see, it's not that much. The Warlock's hasn't even really taken any damage. This guy, the DH, is not really taking any damage because it's on normal. It doesn't hurt that much, right? But that's that debuff. And if you're in these domes, you can't take any damage, but you also can't deal any damage. So cool little healer mechanic there that they have to deal with. So we're going to get these guys to 50% health, basically. They're immune right now.
Lashing Flames. Lashing Flames, I think, is so much better on this fight.
Sorry, I was just eating the mic in this video, but... here comes the other two. So we have the Night Fae person and the Venthyr.
So what's this one have? Are the ads... We don't get the ads because that was the Necrolord thing. Right?
This was my first time learning this.
Oh, we get Burden of Sin. Interesting.
So if you guys remember from Castle Nathria, Sire Denathrius, the very final boss, this is literally, you know, him again. So he puts Burden of Sin on everybody, which just does ticking damage, and then he will do this move where he pulls everybody in, he sucks everybody into himself, and then he's going to explode. So you have to he pulls you in, and you need to run away, create distance, and the more distance you create, the less damage you'll take. Okay, so that's his little ability. The Night Fae.
This is where the healers get their stuff, right?
The Night Fae prototype lady, she does Anima Bolt, just like the Necrolord one. He does Gloom Bolt. It's the same thing. You have to keep kicking it over and over again. Then she does these Withering Seeds. See this? Withering Seeds? And they're going on the ground right now. I think if you step on them, they'll do a bunch of damage to you, so you don't want to hit them. But what can happen is the healers can actually heal them to full. And if they heal those seeds to full, then they will cause the entire raid to take 200% more healing for like 30 or 40 seconds or something. It's really, really good. So this is like a cool healing catch-up mechanic where the healers can pump a bunch of heals into these, and then it'll burst and it'll make the rest of the raid take a whole bunch of extra healing, which is great.
Racking Pain?
He just did Racking Pain. That's just a tank mechanic. That was from Castle Nathria, if you remember that.
I remember that. I did that in Castle Nathria.
Yeah, I actually tanked in Castle Nathria, so.
Yeah, definitely need to switch talents.
Lashing, yeah, I wasn't using Lashing Flames yet. It's way better.
Way better on this fight.
We could be doing more damage. So, These guys will keep going. The seeds,
When should we look?
you can see everybody has the seed icon on them now. Look at, I have it for 26 seconds. That's buffing my healing taken, which is really good. So these guys do, they have some big abilities, and I'll show you in a second. This section does seem easier than the other one, though.
Man, this section's much easier because you can just chill here.
But they will do, now you can see there's animals right here. See this little porcupine looking thing? They run through the middle of the arena, and I didn't realize that I was getting hit by them. Watch this.
Getting bounced for some reason? Wow.
I'm like, what the heck is happening? I just ran right into another one almost. Got bounced again. So the Venthyr guy is about to do his big suck move.
What is happening to me?
I get, there it is. Hand of Destruction. He pulls you in, and then he detonates. So you have to run away. Okay?
Oh, he does his things.
Very, very obvious. I kept getting bounced. Then he spawns a bunch of these red pools all over the ground. You have to dodge,
Oh, I'm
or you
stunned.
get stunned.
Okay, interesting.
So pretty simple, like pretty simple mechanics. Nothing crazy here. Now I notice the animals.
Oh, I'm getting hit by little monsters. Is that what's happening? I'm an idiot.
I wasn't it. It was pretty funny. So that's that, okay? That's the second part of the fight. Let me push forward here. Yeah, on the ad phase of the Necro guy, make sure you use your abilities. Actually, we're going to get them to 50% health here in a second. So just, they're at 51 right now. Or sorry, they're at 54%. So here comes Withering Seeds. There's a Racking Pain. That's a tank mechanic. They have to keep swapping. The tank has to steer that away from everybody else. So, okay, they're at 50%.
Back again?
Now, both sets of bosses are at 50% health, so now all 4 of them are coming out.
Fleshcraft here.
Good time to Fleshcraft. Really, really good. There's just a downtime here for like 10 seconds.
Oh, it's all 4. Oh, boy.
So it's all 4 of them. The Withering Seeds come out. That's for the healers. The Anima Bolt needs to be kicked, and the Gloom Bolt needs to be kicked. See, both of those are going off.
That makes sense.
Now, this is where Lashing Flames is going to kick into high gear, and I'll show you a clip of that in a minute, but I don't have it, obviously, on this pull.
You just focus one of them down?
Spoiler alert, we're gonna wipe on this pull in a minute, but they all share a health pool, so cleaving damage onto all of them, it like quadruple dips, right? Because you're hitting them each 4 times, sort of thing. Do you understand what that means? That's why cleave is so good on this fight. So there's Humbling Strike. I just got hit by the Racking Pain. That's not good. So the tanks need to steer that away. I was just standing in a bad spot. Everybody's dying.
Same health pool, right? I'm an idiot.
Here comes the wind and the spears. There's the spears. People just start dying. Gloom Bolt and Anima Bolt are not being kicked. They have to be kicked, or else people get wrecked. Somebody got speared there. I end up dying to a spear. And there's a tornado. So there's these blue tornadoes that come from the Night Fae chick. If you stand in them, they silence you and deal damage. You just want to avoid the tornadoes, right? They're pretty cool looking. So that's it. We end up wiping, but you got to see the entire fight there. We're going to run it back again. I'll just show you how we do it successfully, but the Kyrian domes I talked about. Get bounced. Let's go to 42. Oh, no, we're already past that. Here we go. We'll go to 51. So we do the whole fight again. This is the first 2. Oh, no, this is the second 2. We're phasing them into stage 3.
They phase before they could do their big mechanic.
Yeah, so this is interesting. They never did the big mechanic where the Venthyr guy puts all those like red little circles that go all over the ground. That didn't happen. And the little anima storms from the Night Fae chick, that didn't happen either on this pull because we were doing so much more damage. So we are running Lashing Flames here. This is going into phase 3. This is the last stage of the boss. All 4 of them are coming out.
Right.
This is really good for Lashing Flames, really good for our fire build. We can spread 4 flame shocks and then tag them all with Lava Lash. Gloom Bolt needs to be kicked. Anima Bolt needs to be kicked, or else you're going to have a hard time. The tanks need to steer the tank mechanics away from the raid.
This is where we get crazy Lashing Flames value.
So our damage is at 8.2 right now. It's going to go up. Because our flame shocks are going to start ticking really hard.
Hot hand. We need hot hand.
So our damage is at 8.8 now. We were at 8.2. It's now at 8.9. You can see it climbing, right? 9.0 is coming right now. Now we're at 9.0. Here comes the wind. Here comes the spears. But we're just nuking them down. There's those spears. The tornadoes are also coming. There's an Anima Storm tornado. I get silenced. Don't stand in that. We're doing 9.2k. Like, our damage just climbs, right? It's really, really good. So that's it. You want to save Lust until this phase, when you get all 4 of them out together. And we get them down.
That was okay. We did 9.3.
9.3k.
Well.
We really start to take off at the end of that fight there. So 9.3k overall. So that's... yeah, that's the fight. So, important to remember a couple of things. In phase 1, let's look at this here. Prototype Pantheon. Oops, sorry. Stage 1 is kind of all about the Necrolord guy, okay? It's all about his ads. So, Necrolord Ritual. His ads come out. You need to organize who's going to kill which ad. You need to kill them very quickly and then get back on the boss, okay? That's almost all of Stage 1. Stage 2, you've got the Night Fae and the Venthyr guys together. There's nothing really going on here. Just don't get hit by the animals that are coming through, and make sure you're kicking the Night Fae chick who's doing her Anima Bolt. Anima Bolt needs to be kicked, and the Necrolord guy, Gloom Bolt, needs to be kicked all the time. So it'd be really good to set up a kick order on your team. Get like 4 or 5 people into this kick order and just rotate through and just do 1 through 5 because they start casting them a lot. So Stage 1 is about the Necrolord ads, kick Gloom Bolt. Stage 2, you just have to kick Anima Bolt and don't get hit by stuff. That's literally Stage 2. Stage 3, once all 4 of them are out, a lot of crap's going to be going on. So you need to dodge the Kyrian spears that come down, these pinning volley, right? It's going to put these big spears that pin you. Don't get hit by the spears. He's going to be doing Gloom Bolt like crazy, and I think his ads are also going to spawn. I don't know if we didn't see that in the end. I think we just nuked him down too fast, so he'll spawn his ads again, so you have to figure out how to deal with that. Prototype of Renewal will be doing lots of Anima Storms, and the Withering Seeds need to be handled by the healers in order to be giving the buff to everybody so that you're taking 200% more healing. And then this guy's going to pull everybody in and then detonate, so you have to make sure you run away from that as well, okay? And you just don't get hit by the sinful projections or else they're going to do a lot of damage to you, okay? So it's a pretty simple fight. The biggest thing to keep in mind, in my opinion, is the Necrolord stuff. Make sure you kill those ads. And then just make sure you're kicking the Necrolord ad and the Night Fae ad. Those are really big, important things that we can do as Enhancement Shaman. And as for the build, I think PLA works really, really well here. Primal Lava Actuators is going to be great because you can spread Flame Shocks to 2 targets. You get 2 target cleave, and then you can spread Flame Shocks to 4 targets. And you saw our damage just climb up and up and up at the end there. We'll just watch this one more time. We'll show you the very last part of the fight. So let's skip ahead here.
Insane.
Once all 4 of them come out.
Insane.
You can see we're hitting all 4 of them. We're doing 8.2k right now, and our damage is just going to climb.
So this is where we get crazy Lashing Flames value.
Because of Lashing Flames, because of Primal Lava Actuators. This is where our bread and butter is, right here. 4 target cleave is crazy. You could argue Fire Nova would be good here, but...
Hot hand. We need hot hand.
I mean, you can try it. It would be good in this particular moment. 8.6k. 8.8k. I'm just tab targeting through and hitting enemies with my Lava Lash to get this Lashing Flames debuff. 9.0, 9.1k. Our damage just climbs at the end of this fight. It goes up and up because of how good the cleave is. Okay? So that's it. Watch out for those Anima Storms. Not too complicated. It's actually not that complicated at all. So that's the fight, guys. That's the build that I took going into it. That's Prototype Pantheon. Really enjoyed that fight. I'm really loving this entire raid, actually. Really loving it. I know I skipped over Skolex. I'm going to do a video on Skolex. I skipped over him, right? Pretty sure I did. Let me just check really quick. Yeah, Sepulcher, we did Guardians. We did Dissausage, Zymox. So I skipped over Skolex. I'm going to go back and do a Skolex video. Don't worry about it. We will absolutely get to him. And then I also took out Lihivim yesterday. And I'm going to show you that fight as well. I recorded the whole thing. That's a cool fight as well. So stay tuned for that one. I've almost killed Halandris, actually, with the guild. We're going to probably do that next week. And then I started to do some pulls on Andy, and that's a much tougher fight. So that'll take me a few more pulls to get through, but we will get Anduin down as well, and I'll give you guys a guide for that as well. So if you're liking these guides, stay tuned, and there will be more on the way. And until the next video, take care.